What does this story tell you? There were a lot of people. Christ was moving, and there were a lot of people around him. Obviously, you must understand, each and everybody, or all these people around him, maybe wanted to see him, or maybe needed something from him. They needed a miracle from him, or something, one way or the other. Now, at those times, women were not allowed to come so close to where men were, especially when men were gathered. So what happened? As they were moving, this woman, you can imagine, whilst there were so many crowds, she was able to enter within these people, go through the crowd to reach Christ. Now you could see the way she would have been shoved, the way people would have pushed her, because those days, excuse me, they did not respect women so much. So the men would have hit her so many treatment, but she knew within herself that if only I can touch Christ's robe, I'll be healed from my sicknesses. Now, at this moment, she had been to so many places, but there was never a healing. Over 12 years. Now, you could see how she suffered, moved, squeezed, being hit, but she was able just to keep on moving till she touched the cloth of Christ. And straight away, she felt within herself that she was healed. Now, when she realized she was healed, something also happened. Christ said something. Who touched me? Now, you can imagine. There were so many people around Christ at that moment. Everybody was touching him. So how can he, according to the disciples, say, somebody has touched me? The disciples said, no, Master, but there's so many people around you. Everybody's touching you. So how can you say somebody has touched me? He said, no. There's a touch that is different from everybody else's touch. There's a touch that has taken the power from me. Now, listen to this. This is where I'm trying to get to. There were a lot of crowd. There were people. But there was somebody who was different from everybody else. Everybody wanted to receive from Christ. But there was somebody who was not like them. She was with the crowd, but she came out of the crowd. She was with the crowd, but she was not like the crowd. So what happened to that person? That person was able to receive, whilst the crowd did not receive. So at that moment, this woman said, she trembled, she was scared. So she came out and said, Master, it is me. And she told Christ her problem, and Christ said, your faith, now that's where the word is, your faith has healed you. Go in peace. Now, what I'm getting to today is this. Most of us have faith, yes. But what faith do we have? Do we have a faith that can really produce action? Many Christians today are like that. Many Christians will pray, they would cry, they would do anything, but they do not receive. Why is it like that? You must understand that those people who were with Christ, some of them were Pharisees, some of them were ordinary people. But at the end of the day, the person who had faith, and the faith had no reservation of any sort, within that person's heart, she said, I'm going to touch Christ and the healing will come. And that was it. And truly, that's what happened. Because that faith was what her faith had produced action. So as she went, she moved through the crowd. And what did she do? She received the answer to her prayers. Now, when people are in a crowd, when people are many at a place, they behave very funny. But when somebody stands alone, he will not behave like the way others were behaving, or the way he was behaving when he or she was in a crowd. So, when people are doing or are busy doing a particular thing, you must always sit down and look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to be like them. I'm going to be something different in a way that everybody would want my product. For example, everybody sells, in the country I come from, Ghana, everybody sells what you call pure water. Now, pure water is water that you put in sachets, treated water they put in sachets, and it's all over the place. People sell them, and almost everybody's making pure water. But you see, pure water can be made, yes, but you must think, what can I do to it that will be different from other people's pure water? So that people who take your pure water will realize that, no, this is not just pure water. This is pure water with style. Everybody packs it the same way. Why can't you change your package, which makes it different from everybody else, so that it will attract other people? To be able to achieve in life, or to be able to go forward in life, you must make a product that everybody would want, not a product that everybody does. So, for example, there are people who sell fast food. In Ghana, they call it check check. That's fried rice and things like that. Now, everybody does the same. Why can't you do something a bit different? Add a different type of sauce. People do fried rice with shit. It is good. But be different from everybody else. Because the moment you are different from everybody else, everybody would want your product. And when everybody wants your product, and everybody is paying money to have your product, then you excel from everybody else. So you must learn not to be like everybody, because if you're like everybody else, then you will be like everybody else. But if you become like that woman who realized that the answer to her prayer is having faith different from all the others, then what I can assure you today is that your receivement and your upliftment will come in a very swift way. May the Lord bless you. I hope this short message that you've received will give you something to think about. Whatever business you've planned to do, yes, go ahead and do it. But plan it. Don't plan it like what everybody else is doing. Because if you plan it like everybody else, then the market will be broad. If somebody wants your product, the person can get it just from the corner. You must find something to attach to it which will make it a bit different. Whereby somebody will travel from Nigeria, somebody will travel from Kenya, somebody will travel from India, somebody will travel from London to come for your product. Here in Ghana, people go all the way to China, go all the way to Korea, go all the way to Britain to bring in products. Some of these products are manufactured here. But you see, the problem is that maybe the quality, or maybe simple, just the packaging. You know, people do good quality things here in Ghana, but at the end of it, the packaging, they just make photocopy and just, with some glue and just stick it on. In that case, I would not buy it. Many people will just see the packaging and think, this might be an expired product or funny product. But a similar product would come from the US, which might not even be the same quality. But people would rather go and buy those products, ship it, pay taxes, and the public would want that product and leave the locally manufactured ones. It's just like chocolate. Ghana has one of the best chocolates in the world. But at the end of the day, the packing is also another problem. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. If you want to be better, or if you want to reach somewhere, a higher level, or if you want to be able to achieve better than everybody else, you must let whatever you do be different from everybody else. Do not be with the crowd. You must come out of the crowd. May the Lord bless you. Peace be upon you.